Okay, I'm here. It's working. Right, so I thought I'd quickly try for fun to talk you through the process of processing a roll of film. Boom, one of these, 35mm, not 5.4 today, just 35mm. So you probably, these days you can still pick up these little things. £1 that cost. This one was a little bit more expensive. £5. So before you spend loads of money, because in photography you can easily spend a lot of money very quickly, charity shop, car boot sale, pick up one of these and just experiment a bit. So the first thing, if you want to process your own film, you're going to have to buy a little bit of kit, but there are so many good community darkrooms these days that actually you don't need to. You can just find one and just go and use their kit. But essentially you'll need a tank, one of these, the Patterson tank. You can buy these second-hand so cheaply and they last for years. I mean, these must be 30 years old, still going. With the reels, again, these are ancient. I actually inherited these from the old darkroom at school. So what you need to do is you need to take your film, put it into this, in complete darkness, then into the tank, in darkness again, and then you need chemicals. And you basically need a developer, or you can buy this little Ilford kit, which is everything in one go. Pretty easy, saves on a lot of expense because you have to buy all the big bottles. So developer, where is my developer? Anyway, developer, stop bath, again, ADOX make these really small ones. You'll need a fixer, Ilford fix, about as classic as you're going to get. And photo flow, again, ADOX do these tiny bottles so you don't have to buy masses. So let's get into it. Let's do the first bit is you need to get the film on the canister. I'll come forward a fraction here. This is the hardest bit, I think, of the whole process. So before you do it, there's a few little things you need to think about. So the way it goes is you slide it in. Hopefully you can see that. And it goes in through here and it rotates round in the reel. So with your film in complete darkness, the first thing you want to do is cut the leader off. Like that. Done. Then with your reel, a really good thing to check, because sometimes this can get you unstuck, is inside here there are little ball bearings. They get a bit stuck, and so it's a real, if you're in the dark you don't know, so always just check that they're free. And then you will take the reel and you'll pull out a bit of film. Don't worry about the first bit because there's nothing on it, because it's what you put into the camera. And then you will slide this in, and then, oh, not like that, like that. Oh, hold on a second. There we go. God, I do this a million times. Shows you, it's still quite tricky sometimes. So slide in a bit, pull a bit of film out, just get it in a tiny bit. And then, with this hand held still, just rock it. Now you need to pull a bit out, and then just rock it, rock it, rock it, rock it. I tend to put my finger in here, and then this keeps it slightly separated from the reel. You can pull it out a bit, but you obviously, this should be done in complete darkness, so you'll have to, and when it gets going, you can just do both at the same time. Now, sometimes it will get stuck, and that's not unusual, and it doesn't matter how good you are, it will happen to you. So when it gets stuck, just take a breather, and then just gently keep the other hand still, just gently rock it a tiny bit, and then keep going, and maybe a little bit harder, and eventually it should keep going. Anyway, you do that all the way, and in true Blue Peter style, I have one I loaded earlier because I didn't want to spend ages loading it. So in here is my loaded film. So what I did was this. I forgot this bit. This goes spindle in, film in the tank, lid on. When the lid on, it's light tight, so your film is safe. The next thing you want to do is mix the chemicals, and again. Here we have another tray. Oh. Okay, we don't need that. Don't need those. Is it still going? Have we crashed? All right, here we go. Going live. Anyway, so if you are watching and it is working, then the next thing we need to do is mix up the chemicals. Now, stop and fix. I have these mixed up all the time. Once you get them mixed up, so will you. You just keep them in bottles. They last a while. The main thing though is developer. So I'm going to use Ilfosol. I use that because it's liquid developer, much easier to mix up. Powder is great, but you have to mix it in beforehand, and it takes a while. There's no, it's all quackery, the difference. You'll learn that, but there you go. Ilfosol is what we're going to use. So on the bottle, you'll see it says 1 + 9. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. So what that means is 1 part chemical, 9 parts water. And so as we are, if you can see that, almost. So we are going to make one roll, which is 300 milliliters, which is the amount you need in this tank. So it's 300 divided by 10, which is 1 + 9. Can you see that? Which means it's 30 milliliters of chemical and 270 milliliters of water. So I'll get the water. The water has to be at a certain temperature, by the way. I have a water bath purely because I don't have any hot water here, but that generally is do it mixing cold and hot. So I will put my glasses on, mix up obviously 270 is quite a complicated number because it only goes in 50s, but we'll get it roughly there. And then we will mix up 30 milliliters of chemical, which is here. I've put a little orange strip on just because I haven't got my reading glasses on. There you go. Pour that into there. Obviously a lot of people will say you should pour one into the other way around. We'll give it a little mix with the thermometer and we will check the temperature, which should be around 20 degrees. Yeah. So then you've got to work out how long you need to develop it for. So you go to a thing online called a mass dev chart and it will tell you. So we have Ilford FP4 1 + 9 125 speed, which is 4 minutes, if you can see that. And below is 5 minutes, and then we changed it to 1 + 14. I would say personally that anything under 6 minutes is not so cool. Don't know why, it's just a gut feeling. So I might, if I was doing this properly, change my developer to one that needs a longer processing time. But because we're doing this, trying to do this live, and I just thought I'd go for it as fast as I can. So what's the temperature of that? Ooh, yeah, 20. Okay, so there we go. So timer on. 3 minutes. Oh, clear that. 3 minutes. Actually, 4 minutes. Okay, so take the top off. Yeah, it seems to be still working. Okay, 4 minutes, off we go. Pour that in. And let's start this. Start. Okay, right, so chemicals are in, lid on. And you have to push that rubber. People always think these tanks leak a lot, and they do, but you just got to really get that top on. Anyway, agitation, like this, 30 for the first 30 seconds. Now, agitation means a lot to a lot of people. For me, it means this, and watch this. Turn, twist, turn, twist. And you just go like that. It's a bit like rubbing your belly and patting your head. If that makes any sense to people. Now that technique is not so important in the small tank, but it's much more important in the big tanks, because when you have big tanks, the liquid's sloshing around. So when it's like this, the bit of film up here is exposed and is not in the chemical. So for that tiny bit of film, if you twist it, it means it's always moving the film inside the tank. Right, not sure how long I've done that for. 1 minute. Okay, when you've done your first bit, always tap the tank down, because it stops any air bubbles getting lodged on the film. So we'll leave it. Okay, still working. All right, cool. So yeah, so every 30 seconds, just give it a little bit, or every minute. I don't know. It's, you know, it's very hard to go wrong. And so if your first couple of rolls of film, I wouldn't worry too much about the whole thing. People get very obsessed by these things. Just make sure you give it enough agitation, let it sit for long enough. Obviously, the amount of liquid in here should mean that the film is completely immersed in liquid while it is developing. And so the next thing we'll do is we'll put stop in. That needs to be 30 seconds a minute. All that does is stop the film being developing. Some people use water. This is sort of an acidy one. It smells horrible. So if you want water, you can. And then after that, we put the fix in. So how are we getting on? 145. Okay. This is exciting. Hope it comes out. It's so embarrassing. Okay. So one thing I'll tell you about these reels, just while we're here, is that when you buy these reels, the Patterson reel, they come in multi-formats. So if you think, oh, I need to buy myself a 120 reel, you don't, because the reel opens out into 120, plus some really ancient formats which I've never seen in my life, which is this one. Just shows you how old these things are and how Patterson have never changed. This is probably the same reel they made in the 50s or whatever. Okay. Right. Tap, tap. Always good to have a towel handy. Definitely a towel in the darkroom. Not the curtains though. Right, 25, okay, we're nearly there. Again, this is quite quick. I would try and aim for a minimum of 6 minutes in processing. Again, I don't know why, but I just feel that it sort of becomes a little bit, slows it all down a bit, allows it to happen more gently. All right, so that's 5 seconds. So we will pour that out. There we go. Okay, stop. Okay, pour that out. Obviously it's still developing as the liquid's in there, so we're going over our time. That's okay. Stop in. Small amount stop. That will do. Right. Stand up straight. Okay. That's that done. Funnel. You can reuse these, by the way, so don't throw them away. They'll work for quite a long time. Right, so that means the film now has stopped processing, but it's not been fixed. So if you take the lid off now, you'll be in trouble. So I'll put that over there. Right, so we've got a mix fixed. These last few months, once they're mixed, it'll also depend on how much you use them and how long they will last, because they will run out of power. Not sure what the word is, but anyway. So fix in. Yeah, but don't leave them for months and months and then go back and use them once you've mixed it, because it won't work. Again, like with a bottle that's half full like this, it will only last a few months, so make sure that you use it all up or ditch it. Right, this needs to go in for 2 to 3 minutes. Again, the first 30 seconds, 45 seconds, give it a good agitation, and don't forget to tap. Okay, leave that for a bit. Towel. We will start the timer there, just to get an idea of how long we are doing that for. What else can I tell you while we're waiting? This is a bit. Well, you can buy the Mod 54 at all good photographic retailers. Right. Okay. You can't even see a Mod 54. I can't believe I'm doing this without one in the picture. What is going on? Okay. Ah, there's one. That's the original one. I don't know if anyone has still got one of these. God, they took hours. It took about 20 minutes to make each one, all stuck together with laser cut acrylic. Very difficult material to work with. Also very brittle. Well, how are we getting on? Okay. Now, the next bit you have to do is wash the film. So there are many techniques. A lot of people run under the sink for ages and ages. But there is quite a cool technique, which I'm not going to run through fully here. I'm not going to wash it fully either. I'm just going to get it out and have a look, but we'll do a quick wash. And it's in the Ilford handbook, and it's quite good. So basically you fill it with water, invert it 10 times, empty it, fill it with water, invert it 20 times, empty it, fill it with water, invert it 30 times and empty it. And that's sort of, you know, seems a very good way to do it. It also conserves water. Not that I suppose water is, but it also means that you can have water at the room temperature, like in my water bath here, so it's not as freezing cold. Right, let's move on to stage 2 here. 3, 4, who knows. Right, pour that back in. Okay. So now this is processed. The urge to take the lid off and have a look straight away is great. So let's do that. Is it processed? Yes, it is. There we go. Now obviously we should wash this, but just to show you that that works. I'll slip that back in. So we'll just do a quick wash. Good. There we go. Fortunately, this is not as exciting. All right, so back we go. Right. Thank you to all those viewers. Right. God, I can't believe the iPad has crashed. It's still live. See, just technology, it sort of works. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See the tank leaking a bit? Release the air and then push it down. And it should be fine. Okay. Oh, I forgot I lost count now. Oh well. That water you just get rid of. I'll do another quick rinse just because we can. And yeah. Okay. Also, if you see I have these trays here. I love these trays. These are really nice old ones, but you can get plastic ones. They're just paper developing trays. And they're great because they stop all the chemicals and muck going everywhere. So it just contains the water, because there's a lot of water everywhere. Right. Okay. So the final bit you have to do, there's 2 final stages, is you got to take the neg off the reel and dry it. So to do that, the first thing what you want to do is you want to put over something called photo flow into the solution, which just helps it dry, and then you've got to wipe it down. There are various different ways of doing that, and lots of people have very strong opinions about one or the other. Here's photo flow rinse. Don't know why I have it in an unbranded bottle, but there you go, I do. This just needs a tiny little drop. There we go, like that. Probably too much. Someone will, I'm sure, no doubtly tell me I've done it wrong. And then I just leave it in the reel. Just go like this. There, a few times. Okay, then we've got to take it out and draw it off. Now this would be quite hard to demonstrate this, but there's 2 techniques. You either use your fingers like that, or use one of these. Now, some people will say, well, your fingers are never going to have anything in them, they'll scratch the negative. Some people say these, ooh, bad person, don't use those. I don't know. However you feel, do whatever you want. It's just not enough time in the day to worry about these things. Well, obviously there is if you're going to screw your negs up, but you're your own person, make your own choices. Also, when you do it, good to have something underneath. There we go. Right, so I'm going to just use the fingers. I quite like that method. Do it down once, and then grab it from the bottom, and sugar, and then do it again, and that's done. Then you need a drying rack, and I have my own drying rack here. This is too big though. This is meant for 5'4" and 120, but either which way, do that. That's not very well dried actually, to be fair. So I might just use this. There we go. That looks better. So you will put a weight wherever they've gone. Here we go. Look at these. These are beautiful. Can't find these anymore. Kodak bottom weights. Stick it on the bottom. This is really messing around here. I'm doing this very badly. This is not a way to do it properly. Anyway, and there you go. That's that. And that is how you process a roll of film. Hope that was useful. Anyway, thank you very much and see you soon.